912 Sports, Southeast Georgia's #1 source for high school sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, a weekly look at high school sports in Southeast Georgia, featuring coaches, players, and journalists who know the ins and outs of prep athletics. Presented by the award-winning writers and broadcasters of 912 Sports, and sponsored by Coastal Pines Technical College, Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, Prime South Bank, and Gibson Animal Clinic. Now, this week's headline.
As Labor Day weekend approaches, we're just hours away from Week 3 kicking off here in the 912. But first, tonight we'll share with you the Ross recap. Kevin Price takes an in-depth look at the Camden Glen Academy game. The On Air with 912 Sports game of the week this week is the Long County Blue Tide, traveling down to Folkestone and Champ Bailey Field to take on the Charlton County Indians. Plus, Robbie Ross and Kevin Price will give you a preview of all the big 912 matchups for Week 3. All that and more here tonight on Air with 912 Sports. Thanks for watching.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Robbie Ross for On Air with 912 Sports, recapping Week 2 of high school football. Camden County defeated Glen Academy 46-21, and Coach Jeff Herron's return to Glen County Stadium. It was Ware County all over Elka, 52-28 in a game that was scheduled on Thursday. It was Brunswick all over MCA, 42-0. Frederica Academy opened their season by defeating Valwood 27-6. It was Appling County defeating Clinch. Clinch 0-2 this year. They were a semifinalist last year. Appling wins that one 33-6. Long County, a huge win. First win in a long time for the Blue Tide. They beat Bacon County 44-29. Southeast Bullock all over Brantley County. Brantley 0-2 on the year. Southeast Bullock wins at 28-0. Coffee County over Bainbridge 35-14. Pierce County drops Wayne County to 0-2 on the year. Pierce wins at 25-0. It was Westlake going down to Colquitt. First time Westlake out of Atlanta has won a game in South Georgia in their history. They beat Colquitt 31-24. Fitzgerald in a battle rivalry game defeats Irwin County 18-15. Beaufort 2-0 against Region 2 6A. They beat Effingham County 24-3. That's Beaufort, South Carolina. And Metter defeated South Effingham 62-31. That's Week 2 recap. We're looking forward to Week 3. This is On Air with 912 Sport.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, across from Harvey's in Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Hello, everybody. Kevin Price for On Air with 912 Sports. This past Friday night, I was out at Glenn County Stadium for the ball game between Glenn Academy and Camden County. The final score, Camden 46, Glenn Academy 21. The Wildcats led this game 17-0 at halftime, 24-0 after 3 quarters. Then the fourth quarter was entertaining. The teams ran up and down the field, running backs breaking off long runs, several for touchdowns. Camden scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and 22 points because they converted a 2-point play. Glenn Academy also scored 3 touchdowns and finished with 21 points, all of their scores coming in the fourth quarter. Some takeaways from the ball game. First, for Glenn Academy, their run game much better this week than it was last week in the opener against McIntosh. John Moody came through for Glenn Academy, ran hard, ran with authority between the tackles, rushed for 173 yards and also a touchdown. The passing game that Glenn spent all summer working on, not very good. They went for the home run balls, particularly early in the ball game, struck out, if you will, on those passes when they tried to hit doubles, if you will, in the gaps. Also not very good. If the passes were on the mark, the receivers oftentimes dropped the ball. So that passing game for Glenn Academy still very much a work in progress. Glenn's run defense not very good as well. Gave up 469 rushing yards to the Wildcats. 5 touchdown runs all over 40 yards in that ball game as well. In Glenn's defense, they have played the first 2 games without some key personnel, without some starters on that side of the football. So hopefully that will help things when they are at full strength. But they definitely have to get that shored up here in the next couple of weeks before getting into region play against the run-heavy Brunswick High School Pirates. That's their opener. Camden County running that wing tee looked good against that inexperienced and depleted Glenn Academy defense. 553 total yards. Of course, we mentioned the rushing yardage. Jamie Felix still limited in what he can really do with that broken left hand, but he showed his talents running the ball for the Wildcats. Deontay Cole is like a game-breaking kind of back for Camden County as well. And the big fullback, KK Alberti, a tough runner between the tackles, a big load. He's 225 pounds. And then the backup fullback, not bad either, Jake Lindsey, a starter for the Wildcats in their defensive secondary. Scored 2 more times in this ball game. He also scored last week. He has 3 touchdowns now in 2 games. He had 2 of those long Camden touchdown runs, one of 44 yards and one of 62 yards. Speaking of run defense, Camden's not very good either, particularly right between the tackles, between the hashes. Glenn gashed them, running the ball up inside several times. I know talking to Coach Heron after the ball game, he hinted to some personnel changes that would hopefully fix that, and those could be coming here pretty soon in a matter of time, so we'll keep our eye on that. But that was the report from Glenn County Stadium. Camden now 2-0 early on. Glenn Academy 0-1-1 with that tie against McIntosh up in Darien in week number 1. We'll see what happens with these 2 teams this week in week number 3. That was the report from Brunswick. Kevin Price for On Air with 912 Sports.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On Air with 912 Sports. Getting set for another big high school football Friday night here in Southeast Georgia. Now with me is Coach Russ Murray, head coach of the Charlton County Indians. He's getting set for our game of the week here at 912 Sports as Long County will visit Charlton County Friday night. It is our game of the week. Charlton County's home opener after a week off, so I know that's going to be exciting for the Indians. But, Coach, you're looking good, so I'm assuming you're feeling good. Thanks for being with us here tonight on our show.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure to talk to somebody down there in Folkestone. I was talking to Coach Feister. He's looking forward to coming down there. Of course, it's always an exciting atmosphere down there in Folkestone. I went down there in the days of the Bailey boys, and it was always fun to go down there and see how things turned out in the swamp. But I know y'all have improved that stadium a lot down there. I've only seen it on some highlight shows and some Facebook Live things, but hope to get down there here again pretty soon. But Coach, kind of an interesting start to you for the season. And for anybody that doesn't know, I guess you got started with your opener against Brantley County a couple of weeks ago on a Friday night, and then had to sort of play a doubleheader, I guess, if you will. You had to finish that game up on a Saturday. So for anybody that doesn't know, just kind of walk us through what happened on Friday night and then how you guys handled that thing to finish that ball game up in Caney Bay on Saturday.
Well, we started on Friday night and we got all the way to I think 5 minutes ago in the first quarter. We scored a touchdown quick, and then doggone if they didn't score another one and get their extra point as well. And we're leading 7-6, and then lightning came. And, we sat, me and Coach Cannon and our staff sat around and we were like, what do we do? We're trying to find a time. And at the time, the weather report was going to be much the same. So we just decided to go at 10 o'clock. And we knew it was going to be hot, but my gosh, I don't think we knew it was going to be that hot. So on both sides, we had that to fight, not only opponent, but we had the heat to fight. And our guys, I was proud about the way we fought it and did it. We did a good job getting through it, but it was rough, but we made it through.
Yeah. I've been through a couple of those myself, and it's always a quick turnaround, and you kind of want to get it done in case it rains again the next afternoon tonight.
That's right. And if we could have known how the weather turned out, we could have played later. But just as soon as we decided to do that, the rain would have came that afternoon. So
that's right. That's right. Well, Coach, looking at that game, you guys, I guess, won at 27-19. I think it was.
Yes, sir.
But, just after watching the game, of course, in person, but then going back and looking at the film, just talk about maybe some of the positives and some of the negatives that came out of that game for you as a coach. I know the win certainly was positive, but you probably nitpicked the game from a coach's standpoint and saw plenty of negatives to keep your team humble there. So just kind of go through what went good and what went bad.
I told the guys after the game, I was proud of them and things like that, but we're far from where we need to be. We're not going to be competitive and even make the playoffs, and especially the region and classification we're in with what we did Saturday. But, we did some good stuff on the offensive line. We ran the ball well. We had a running back go over 100 yards, and our quarterback almost went over 100 yards as well. And pass protection was well. So our offensive line played well, and our defensive front played pretty doggone good. And, there were some, a lot of pluses, and there were some negatives, and we've tried to work on them this week and the last 2 weeks, and hopefully we could get them corrected and get better every day.
Well, talk about that, Coach. You played a game, then you had an off week. Usually people are going to have an early off week either after one game or two games. A lot of teams are having some off weeks this week, even if they didn't have a game canceled. So talk about, maybe how you guys spent the off week. I assume maybe it was mostly working on Charlton County, not so much working on the game this week. So how did you guys make the most productivity out of that off week last week?
Well, that's pretty interesting. We Monday, we had a thunderstorm come through here right at the time that we were trying to get out of school. So I just kind of let the kids go home. They went home with the Chromebooks, and they were supposed to watch Huddle. And, I kind of followed them on that. And then, I guess if it's going to be a good week, my defensive staff got hit with COVID. And I've lost my coordinator and my linebackers coach and my D-line coach. And I'll get them back tomorrow. And so we had to go to work short-staffed, guys coaching offense, having to coach defense too. And I've had to come out, and instead of doing my overseeing or whatever I do, I'm coaching D-line again and having to run the weight room. So it's been a busy week, but our kids, thank goodness they're a lot older than they were when I first started, and that maturity's kind of kicked in, and they've been, we had a good week. And like you said, we focused in on ourselves, did some drills that we normally wouldn't do in the season because we'd be afraid of getting banged up in Class A. We don't want to lose people. We did some Oklahoma and different things like that, working on our skills, tackle skills, and some circuit training that we do and stuff like that as far as on the field. And, it was a pretty productive week. And we started Monday getting ready for this game against Long yesterday.
Good. And, Coach, you are at home there at Champ Bailey Field in Folkestone, playing in front of the home folks, I guess, for the first home game of the season. I know always an exciting time down there for a home game in Folkestone, but particularly the first one. Is there a little extra excitement, a little extra buzz in the air this week, knowing that the Indians are going to take the home field for the first time?
Well, I think so. I know my AD was telling me about how many season tickets he sold, and that it's up a lot, considerable amount than it was last year. I think the home folks are kind of excited about seeing the boys because they've watched them grow for the last 2 years. I mean, we've been getting some wounds, growing pains, and I think people recognize that we're bigger and stronger now. Still got a ways to go, but I think they're excited, wanting to see us put on all that black and get after it. They and I am too. And I've heard the buzz around. We're having a quarterback club meeting tonight. They're probably packed, and they're talking about, hey, they want to see some film. They want to see something. So we're excited, and I think the town's getting a little buzz to them too.
So y'all aren't afraid to wear all black, even if it's 100 degrees.
Oh, that's what we're gonna wear at home. We've had our baseball team are flirt with some. They got a tribe shirt they wear on different things, non-traditional. And people have asked me about a red shirt. I said, I don't know. I said we've got red and black, and a lot of people will have black, and blacks aren't even school colors, but black on black's pretty special around here, and we're gonna have it on ready to go.
I got you. And this can be intimidating down there too. And I know that's probably why y'all do it. But Coach, talk about a team that's excited. That's Long County. I mean, they've already won a game 2 weeks into the season. And some people may not understand why that's exciting. But when you didn't win a game all of the previous season before, that's why it is exciting. It only took 2 games to get in the win column this year. And who knows, they may bring a record crowd over there themselves to Folkestone. And y'all may make a lot of money off of them at the concession stand too. So have some extra hot dogs ready for the folks from
that's right.
But Coach, talk about what you saw out of the Blue Tide on film.
I tell you what, they're impressive looking bunch. They fill out their uniforms well, and they run it. They run. I don't know exactly what you call it, but it's old wheat tea concept. I guess it's a straight tea. Is what it is, and they all that misdirection and all that option play, and they do a good job. And I'll tell you what, it's scaring us to death as far as work. Like I said, I'm having to coach defensive line this week, and there's all kind of things, I hadn't had to do in a while because I was an offensive line coach for 20 something years, and which is, just the opposite of that. But we've been working, getting ready for that, and they should be fired up because he's got a good bunch that they're capable of. Goal posted it from 80 yards. If we don't do our jobs, and I take all 11 on defense, they're liable to do that for sure.
And Coach, I mean, you mentioned COVID within your coaching staff. I mean, I'm assuming you've had some COVID issues with your team, and then contact tracing may be as big as anything. I know COVID's a private issue. I don't know how much you could say in regards to your players, but how have you handled that? How has that been for the Indians just in general?
Well, I've had several players, not many, less than 10, at the beginning of the practice, at the end of the summer. And hopefully we got that out of the way. And they did a great job last year avoiding, trying to do the right thing. I encourage them to if they want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If they don't wear it. You do what you feel comfortable. Just be smart about how you conduct yourself. I've got several players that are vaccinated, and I've got some that are, are planning on getting it, and that's fine too. If they want to get it, go ahead. If they don't, then and they've done a real good job just being smart about the virus and things like that. I was impressed last year about how they did things, and one of the things, at least once a week, when I break them down at end of practice, I talk about the COVID stuff. Hey, it's still here. It's real. We got to be smart, and it's just the luck of the draw with that thing, as long as we're smart, making good decisions, I think we get a less of a chance of getting it, but it's hard to avoid it all the way. Cause I'm sure like you, there's all kind of people that are close to me that have been affected by it and are going to continue to be affected by it till we get through this mess, whenever it'll be, for sure.
That's right, Coach. That's all we can do. Just keep talking and keep trying to be safe. And you do that as well. And good luck to you Friday night and throughout the remainder of the 2021 season. I know you're in a tough and exciting region, and we look forward to seeing continued growth and progress there from you guys over in Folkestone.
Okay, I appreciate you having me.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll be back with more here on Air with 912 Sports. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Kevin Price, joined now by Coach Feaster of Long County. His team getting set for our 912 Sports game of the week against Charlton County. That game will be in Folkestone. It will be the Indians' home opener. So it should be an exciting atmosphere over there for our game of the week featuring Long and Charlton. But we want to talk to Coach Feaster about that and also his early season success so far. But, Coach, it looks like you're doing well, so I'm just going to assume you're doing well. Thanks for being with us here this evening on our show.
Oh, yes, sir. We're doing well here in Ludowici. We're rocking and rolling, and just looking forward to the opportunity Friday night to have our kids go out here and play a really meaningful football game, and they're excited about it. And, again, it's just great to have some success and some things going well here for us.
Good. Well, Coach, let's talk about that before we talk about the Charlton game this Friday night. You did lose your opener to Berrien County, but you turned it right around real quick and beat Bacon County 44-29. I believe the score was last Friday, and that's a big deal because the Long County Blue Tide had went 0-10 the previous season under the former regime and hasn't won too many games, going all the way back. I looked it up this morning. Never had a season with more than 3 wins, I think, since 2015. So maybe you guys are on to something here in your first year over there in Ludowici. But talk about that excitement right after that final horn went off Friday night and you saw the Blue Tide on top on the scoreboard over Bacon. I'm sure the kids went nuts maybe on the field and maybe even more so when you guys had some private time in the locker room.
Oh, yes, sir. It was really exciting. They did. They were very, very happy. I think a lot of folks in the stands, they weren't really sure how to react. I think that, you're right. They hadn't seen too much of that, but, that's just, it goes part of the deal here. And our kids, they really didn't seem to care. Once they kicked the ball off, they were ready to play. Previous week at Berrien, we were missing several starters due to COVID contact tracing. And we actually thought we played pretty well in our scrimmage the week before that. We matched with McIntosh and varsity played them 13-6 at the half, and I thought we played really pretty well. And then we went to Berrien, and just kind of the air fell out a little bit. And again, we were missing multiple starters on defense, and offensively, it's a whole new system, and kind of there's a lot of moving parts, and there's some guys still figuring things out. And against Bacon the other night, our defense and special teams kind of really sparked us, and we were able to finally, be a little bit more consistent offensively. But when you have a punt return for touchdown and an interception return for touchdown and a kick return that goes back to the 20. I mean, we did some good things and set us up for success. And so, we jumped out to a 30-9 lead in the third. And I think our kids just kind of, well, shoot, what do we do now? We're up 30-9. We just hang out. And, Bacon fought, and they did a really good job. They kept throwing it around, and but our kids battled, and we found a way to hold on and score another one in the fourth there to kind of give us a little bit of cushion. And I'm glad we did. And again, it was a great time. And at the end of the game as a coach, you're thinking about, golly, we gave up 20 points in the last quarter and a half and what, things we got to fix. But once you get beyond that, it was a really fun night. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and that's probably where you have to take your coaching hat off, I guess, and let the kids enjoy this moment, all things considered. So along that line, did you maybe get a Gatorade bath or a Powerade bath? I don't know who your sponsor is, so we might have to give them credit for giving you the bath with a certain kind of liquid. But did you do some kind of dance in the locker room that we may see a video surfacing of here that somebody took with their cell phone in the next few days? It may already be out there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think you'll see any of that. Our kids, they went in and they celebrated and they did their thing. And I was on the field with my wife and my daughter, and that was a big deal. And then really, it's our community was there, and there was a lot of people, administration, school board members, parents that were just, it took me probably 30 minutes to get inside. Just that so many people wanted to just say, hey, congratulations. And that was a big deal for a lot of the the stakeholders in the community and within our school. They all enjoyed it. We had the staff all kind of sits in the end zone in our field near a bell they have when we score, and they hadn't rang that bell there that many times in a while. And so that was a good time for the families and the kids to be down there. And it was a little subdued because, again, I honestly think there's a lot of people that they weren't too sure to expect that. But hopefully we can get them to raise those expectations and become more accustomed with winning some football games.
I got you, Coach. I understand that. And let's kind of talk about that. I mean, kind of a tough assignment for you there as the head coach to kind of come in and certainly it's a fresh start for everybody, but you got to try to get people to believe that y'all can do what you did Friday night. And that's half the battle, maybe 3/4 or more. But before you really even get down to X's and O's and putting in your scheme and your weightlifting program and all those kinds of things. So how do you think the team has responded, the community has responded to maybe what you and your staff is preaching and trying to instill there? Obviously, seems like it would be positive so far, being that you guys have a win 2 games into the season.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives. There's a lot of things here that are going well, and there's always things that you wish that you could, change faster or, change a little bit more. But from the day I got here in February, our administration has been great. They updated our weight room. We got 10 new racks. They got some new weight this summer. We're really invested in things for our kids. We've ordered probably 30 new helmets since I've been here, some new equipment for them, shoulder pads, and trying to give the kids a great experience. And that's the biggest thing that, I just feel like our kids need to make sure that they're getting the same kind of experience that the kids are getting in other places. That, I want to make sure that we're trying to be equitable to the kids. And I think they're getting it. I think there's a lot of adjustment. And of course, now I'm a big routine guy. And I tell the kids all the time, and they probably get tired of me talking about it, but I'm like, I get up at the same time. I eat the same thing for breakfast. Try to eat the same thing for lunch. this routine of Mondays is going to be this, Tuesdays is going to be this. And in this world we live in now, that crap's out the window. We were in school together for 2 weeks maybe, or a week and a half, and we went all virtual. And so now we're really kind of trying to adjust the schedule, but the district's been great. We have a bus that goes out and picks up the kids at the end of the online learning day and brings them back into practice. And then we have a bus that takes them home at night. So the district is trying to do all they can to give our kids that experience, because we don't want anybody to say that they can't play because of transportation or because of COVID issues or whatever. So we're trying to give our kids that opportunity, and the kids are getting it. I think, every week we have a couple more kids that seem to get it and buy in, and then they're dragging along some of the other kids with them. And so far, I think the older guys are really starting to get it, and the younger guys are also kind of pushing them that way. We have a weird dynamic of a lot of seniors who are very, very talented, but haven't really had a lot of success. And then we got some sophomores who are really, really talented, and they're playing a lot, and they're kind of pushing those older guys. So it's been a really good dynamic for us.
That's awesome. And Coach, the challenge this week, kind of an interesting one. Charlton County, great tradition down here in South Georgia. They've been down trying to bring their way back under Coach Murray. We're going to talk to him as well. But, in the past, they've had a great atmosphere down there in the swamp in Folston. So, number one, have you talked to your kids about maybe handling that atmosphere, particularly with them being their home opener? And I'm sure there's going to be some extra excitement there with the Indians playing in front of the home crowd for the first time.
Yeah, I talked to the kids actually yesterday. I got a text from you guys yesterday during practice about this being the game of the week, and I talked to the kids at the end of practice about, they just don't understand how fortunate they win one football game at Long County, and you got folks trying to give us a game of the week, and that's a really big deal. And I'll be honest with you, I'd really try to focus on us. Folkston is a place I'm very excited to go to. I've never been there, but when I moved to Georgia in 2007, one of the guys I worked for said, one of the things you really want to do is when you go somewhere new is study it. Study the program, study the coaches, and then get to know the state. And that's something that I've tried to do, and that's why I'm ended up in this part of the state. I wanted to be down here in South Georgia, and as far as smaller school football goes, getting to go play at a place like that, that's going to be special. And our kids, I'll be honest with you, our kids, they don't know the difference between Folkston and Albany or Carter's. It don't matter. They're just going to go play. They've never really played in a meaningful football game in that regard. So hopefully this will be one for us. I talked to them yesterday about, make this a big deal. Go down here and put on a show for them. But our kids are excited. They're not as excited as I am. I'm like a little kid, man. I'm freaking jacked up to go down there. And I was telling somebody the other day that I was so excited to go to Folkston. And they said, well, Coach, I'll be honest with you, not too many visitors have a good time down there. And that's fine by me. We're going to go out there and give it our best.
Well, it is Champ Bailey Field, and that may scare your kids if they Google Champ Bailey, but it also may excite them. So I'll leave that up to you. I saw that kid play in high school, and, of course, saw him on throughout his college and pro career, and he's one of my favorite football players of all time. Of course, you could probably see some of the books behind me, and that may tell you why. But, Coach, let's talk about this Indians team you're going to face on Friday night. What do you see from Coach Murray's squad when you break out the film and look at them offensively and defensively?
Speed. I texted Coach Phillips, their OC down there this morning, and I said, man, you got the fastest bunch of kids I've maybe ever seen on film, just 1 through 11 on the field. And I spent a lot of years in Metro Atlanta at the 6A, 7A level. I've seen some fast teams, but I'm talking 1 through 11. Their kids all kind of, they're not real massively huge or anything, but they all look similar size, but they can all run. And that's one thing that, again, it does scare me a little bit, for us defensively, is can we match that speed, and can we, they spread the field out, and they like to throw it around, and they do a good job up front of getting off the ball, and defensively they're just super aggressive and super fast. And so that's something that I know that we've got to be prepared for, is the speed at which they're going to play. They're a lot different. Barium is a lot bigger than us up front, and now, I think Bacon, we obviously matched up a little bit better, but then these guys here, they're just fast.
All right. Well, Coach, work on your speed. See if you can get some good 40 times going before you head over there. And we look forward to seeing how things turn out. We look forward to seeing what you continue to do and build there over in Ludowici. Should be fun. It should be exciting. Good luck to you Friday night, and good luck to you the rest of the way here in 2021.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys having us again. Anytime you need anything from us, let me know, and we're willing to help you guys out. Again, and just love the platform and love the opportunity, and hopefully we can play Tide fast on Friday night.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll be back more with here on Air with 912 Sports.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Hello, everybody. Kevin Price along with Robbie Ross for On Air with 912 Sports. We're set for week 3 of the high school football season here in Southeast Georgia. Now we're going to get you set for week number 3 coming up tomorrow night here around the southeast area of the state. Robbie sitting in for Sean Smoke this week, who is behind the camera. All right, so Robbie, real quick, we've already talked to both of our coaches for our game of the week, which is Long County at Charlton County. Could be an exciting atmosphere over there in Folkston. Long County got some excitement going, some momentum going last week with their win. Only 2 games into the season. They did not get a win last year at all. Going to be their home opener tomorrow night over there at Champ Bailey Field. Could be a really good one. That's why it's our game of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the stats stack against Long County for over the last, since 1984. Only their 29th program win since 1984. Lost 46 out of 47. The last time they were even 1-1 on the season was 2016. What a great story it would be if they could get a win and go 2-1 on the year. And who knows, they may be the surprise of Southeast Georgia. And, it wouldn't really take that many more wins to be the surprise of the year in Southeast Georgia. So look for the Blue Tide to go over to Folkston and compete with a little swagger that they haven't had in over 3 years.
That's right. Somebody's going to get win number 2. It will be either the Indians or the Blue Tide. So we'll see what happens. That's our game of the week. Well, let's move right on down the road, Robbie. We got a GISA versus GHSA matchup going to take place up in Savannah. FREDRICA Academy will leave St. Simon's Island and go to Savannah to take on Calvary Day School. Of course, Calvary Day, one of the better teams in single A private in GHSA. FREDRICA last week maybe sent some shock waves around the state with maybe a mild upset on their home field over Valwood. Now they'll be outnumbered again, numbers-wise, against Calvary Day, but also Calvary Day, those guys in those home jerseys, they've got some talent that's going to be suiting up in those home jerseys for Calvary Day.
Yeah, about 70 home jerseys will be suited up for Calvary, and about 20 road jerseys will be used for Coach Brandon Derrick. So he's going to leave more jerseys on St. Simon's than he's going to take to Savannah. And one big missing piece of that is going to be quarterback Thomas Veal, who went down in the fourth quarter as they were driving to go up 27-6 last week against Valwood. And these two teams played last year. It was close at the half. Then Calvary scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter to kind of extend it. But that was pre-Jordan Triplett. Now, Jordan Triplett played in that game last year against Calvary, but he was not the feature back, as Kyle Perez was still the feature back before he got hurt in the next game. So Calvary has not seen a full game of Jordan Triplett, and we know what he can produce. And the later it goes, the more he becomes more effective running the football. So it's going to be a tough test, but these FREDRICA Knights, they are not scared of tough tests. As we saw last year, they went on the road in the playoffs, made it all the way to the state championship. And then I think it was an upset last week, especially the score anyway. I wouldn't have been too surprised if FREDRICA won a close game, but 27-6, that kind of sent a message.
Also, Robbie, Calvary Day has a freshman running back of their own this year that Frederica did not see themselves last year. He ran for over 200 yards last week in their ball game, so it could be a battle of young running backs. So, Robbie, we'll bring it back closer to home. We're both sitting in our houses on St. Simon's Island doing this. But on the mainland over in Brunswick Friday night, it will be Winder Barrow coming down from northeast Georgia. Of course, Winder just sitting outside of Athens, coming down here to play Glenn Academy. Of course, Robbie, I think Glenn might want to think about winning this ball game. They're 0-1-1. And I say that really, Robbie, because they're going to be off next week, I believe, and then they'll play Coffee, their final non-region game, and then go right into region play with the big one, the city championship game. If they don't win this one, the Red Terrors won't taste victory for at least another week.
Yeah, I mean, it is, 2 weeks at least, if not longer than that, because this is the final tune-up for what we know is a very good Coffee team. And Coach Rock's not going to say it, but there may be a little bit of panic mode over there in Tarrytown, needing to get this win against the Double G Bulldogs from Winder Barrow. So they don't know how to spell up there. An old Red Elephant joke from my days in Gainesville. But Winder always had a physical team back in the day. They've kind of fallen on hard times now that they opened a second school in Barrow County with Appalachia. Those athletes seem to be going over there, and there's such a very football-rich area there outside of Athens. You can't discount that long road trip that Winder's going to make on Friday afternoon. It's about probably a good 6 hours on a school bus, so it's hard to get your legs underneath them. Glenn Academy needs to jump out early, and I think they can probably set the tone and get that first win before they have the off week and then get into the tough stretch of their schedule.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to see from Glenn. Number one, can they throw the ball better? They tried to hit the home run passes against Camden to no avail. Also, when they tried to throw the short, the intermediate passes, their receivers dropped the ball a lot of the times. Tyler Devlin, the quarterback, probably should have stepped up in the pocket a little bit more than he did. He was on the run a little bit, took some hits in that ball game. I'm not really sure. He was day-to-day at the start of the week, so it either will be him or Colton C. We might see both quarterbacks for Glenn. Also, they need to shore up that run defense. They gave up a lot of big runs to Camden last week, 5, I think, for over 40 yards and scores on those long runs. Of course, we know they're going to get a pounding running attack coming at them in a couple of weeks against Coffee, and that's Brunswick's bread and butter too. So Glenn better shore up that run defense. Robbie, you'll be going on the road with Richmond Hill doing their game for their web stream, their webcast. They're going to play Burke. Richmond Hill, for all practical purposes, may be playing their first varsity game because last 2 weeks ago they went to Beaufort, South Carolina, down 50 players plus, 54, 52, something like that. You know the exact number, and lost that game to Beaufort. If they're at full strength, they probably win that game going away. So Richmond Hill, for all practical purposes, really playing maybe game one with their varsity team. What's the outlook for Richmond Hill in this one?
Well, actually, this game against Burke County was originally scheduled August the 27th, which was last Friday. Burke County had to shut things down. They missed their game with Benedictine on August 20th, and this game with Richmond Hill on August 27th, it was pushed back to September 10th. For all intents and purposes, the season opener for Richmond Hill and their starters. I think they're getting 53 of the 54 that missed the Beaufort game back. And so they will be at full strength heading up to Waynesboro to take on Burke County, which is traditionally a very good football team under Eric Parker, but it's going to be their season opener. So it should be a good one and really kind of unknown to see what Richmond Hill is going to have out there offensively and defensively with all the losses. Of course, Ashad Roberson, Nuna Hunter, Tyler Coleman, Nathan Vickers, Shaquan Brooks, the list goes on of all the losses that Richmond Hill is going to have to make up for with this season. But it'll be interesting to see how they fare in what is a season opener, basically, for both teams.
Robbie, Coffee will go to Houston County. Now, Coffee got their win last week, got their season started against a good Bainbridge team. It was a matchup of two ranked teams, Coffee in 5A, Bainbridge in 4A. Coffee came from behind. I think they were down 14-12. At intermission, won that game 35-21, held a really good Bainbridge team to under 200 yards of offense. We know that Coffee likes to play physical football on both sides of the ball. They have a lot of returning talent back on both sides of the ball. Houston County, I believe, beat them last year over in Douglas. Of course, Coffee was dealing with some early season COVID problems. They had COVID problems later in the year. I'm sure Coffee's kids are thinking about revenge. And we don't really predict games most of the time here. We just kind of talk about them. But I think Coffee has a chance to go over there and smack Houston County in the mouth and win this game by double digits and come back to Douglas with a big victory.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think Houston County got a win over Perry in week 1. I'm not real sure what they did last week, but I think Coffee has probably got a lot to prove in this early portion of their season, getting ready for the Region of Doom, as I think that's how it's been titled in that 5A region. I think Coffee goes up there and does what Coffee does, and they're going to run the football, and they're going to be physical up front, and I don't really think Houston County is going to have the opportunity to really put anything up. They had a little revenge on their minds, too, after you said last year, not playing at full strength. And COVID's been a lot of things, negative, but positive this year. Coaches are being able to use it. I remember last year when they picked on us, we were down 20 players. Well, we're full strength, and we're going to pick on them.
That's right. And, Robbie, our last game that we're going to talk about here before we kind of run through the rest of the games is a team from Virginia, Beacon Hill, Virginia, coming down to Camden County to take on the Camden County Wildcats Friday night in Kingsland. Honestly, Camden is not really 100% know what they're up against. This Beacon Hill team went out to Oklahoma and played one of the better teams out there in the Sooner State and got blown out, quite frankly, last week. Down a lot of players. I don't really know exactly how many, but did have a lot of players not make that trip. From talking to Coach Herron, Beacon looked a lot better in their preseason scrimmage. But it's really hard to tell. They don't really know what kind of team, how many players are going to be back for this Beacon Hill team. So this game really for Camden is mostly about Camden going into the week, preparing, just trying to get better. They'll kind of adjust on the fly, prepare as well as they can, and make in-game adjustments as they go, depending on what Beacon Hill tries to do and how they need to line up. But when you look at this Camden team, Robbie, they got better from their scrimmage to game 1. And got better from game 1 to game 2. Over 600 yards of offense last week against Glen Academy, even though that Glen defense is inexperienced and young. Coach Herron said, I had no idea we could run the wing tee that good this early. And then defensively, though, they got mashed a couple of times or a lot of times between the tackles. I know that's something they want to improve of. They did up downs, Robbie, in front of their bench. Coach Lindsey was so ticked off, I guess would be the right way to put it, late in the ball game. I'm sure the Wildcats don't want to do that again Friday night. That was probably embarrassing for those defensive players.
Yeah, absolutely. And nobody wants to do that any part of the week, much less on a Friday night under the lights in somebody else's stadium. It'd be interesting to see what the Virginia team brings down, as you said, and also who knows how much they've been able to practice because Hurricane Ida, Tropical Storm Ida went up through the Virginias and the Carolinas Tuesday and Wednesday. And so they may have been inside a lot. And plus, traveling down, they probably left this morning, I would imagine, and spending the night somewhere along the way so they don't have to drive the entire way tomorrow for that game tomorrow night. But it'll be interesting to have a regional matchup, a true regional matchup down in Kingsland on Friday night. And if the Wildcats put up 600 yards of offense, it doesn't really matter what that Virginia team does.
So, Robbie, let's roll through the games real quick. We will see around the area. South Effingham will visit Appling County. Bacon will go to Berrien. Let's see. Also, we'll have, of course, Long at Charlton. We have, skipping down here, Savannah at New Hampstead, Pierce at Claxton. Also, Swainsboro at Statesboro. ECI will visit Vidalia. Baldwin will visit Ware County in the Swamp. So a lot of games being canceled. A lot of teams off this week. A little bit of a light schedule. But, Robbie, I'm ready for week 3. You're ready for week 3. I'll be at Glen County Stadium. You'll be on the road with Richmond Hill. We encourage everybody to get out and watch their favorite high school football team. And we'll be back to talk about it again next week right here on Air with 912 Sports. For Robbie, I'm Kevin. We'll see you next week.
This has been On Air with 912 Sports. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more coverage of Southeast Georgia high school sports. On Air with 912 Sports has been brought to you by Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, Prime South Bank, Gibson Animal Clinic, Coastal Pines Technical College, Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, and Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty. This has been a presentation of 912 Sports, Southeast Georgia's #1 source for high school sports.